You want change that is driven by social forces. That's what you're craving for. Raj, laws keep societies together, right? Apart from laws, what are the other devices that keep societies together?
Jharkhand has been in the news for long reasons of it. Can you name two of the problems that have for which Jharkhand has been in the news last maybe a fortnight?
If you want to work closely with the marginalized sections of the population, then IFS should be lower than the Danics and Danips. But the Danics and Danips are 16th and 17th. They're very low on your priority list. Don't you think there is an inconsistency between what you are saying and what you have written here? Raj Krishna. How are you, Raj?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Okay. Raj provides some interesting information about yourself, which is not given in this deck. Something apart from this deck.
Sir, I was born in Patna and I moved to Dehradun for my secondary education. And then I moved back to Bokaro Steel City for my senior secondary education. And then I moved to Guwahati for my bachelor's degree. So I have roamed around 4 to 5 states in this short span, and it has been a very wonderful journey.
Raj, what kind of values do you hold very dear to yourself? Values that anchor your personality. Highlight three such values.
Sir, three such values will be: first will be perseverance, and second will be fearlessness, and third will be rationality.
What are the limits to reason?
Sir, the greatest limit to reason is the uncertainty in life and the uncertainty that future holds for us. So that is the greatest limit.
If I make a statement, the only thing that is certain about future is its uncertainty. What does that mean?
So it is rightly said statement, and it only means that future cannot be predicted or anything can happen in future, but we can mold the future by working in the present.
Okay. So, have you gone through today's newspaper?
No, sir.
But the newspapers are out very early in the morning.
Yes, sir.
What time? It's 11:30, and you have yet not seen the newspaper.
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Are you aware about this Uniform Civil Code debate that's going on? What is your take on that, Raj?
So my take is similar to the Law Commission's take, that at present Uniform Civil Code is not very desirable. Rather, reforms of the personal laws of different religions that should be undertaken, and with time a popular consensus should be built, and then we should shift to Uniform Civil Code.
Long run, you want this Uniform Civil Code in place. Okay. What are the three major challenges in the implementation of the UCC?
So first will be the huge diversity of society in India, and second will be the institution of family that is in India is a personal and private affair, and such laws they rarely do anything to solve the societal problems. The solutions to the societal problems, they come from the society itself and not from external laws. And sir, third will be the patriarchal mindset uh, that is prevalent. uh, Even the lawmakers are mostly men, only 14% of the lawmakers are women. So there will be a unequal distribution of representatives in framing such a universal code.
So, you want change that is driven by social forces. That's what you're craving for. Raj, laws keep societies together, right? Apart from laws, what are the other devices that keep societies together?
So three other devices that I can think of. First will be the social institutions, such as the marriage, family, uh, these. And second will be the traditions and customs that are prevalent in the society. And sir, third thing that holds the society together is the community living. People living together and coming together as a one group. That is, in my opinion, the greatest factor.
What is socialization?
Sir, socialization refers to the process of getting integrated with the prevalent customs or practices of the society where one is living. To embrace socialization, one should opt for being taking participation in the social activities and meeting more and more such people so that he can learn from their new traditions and new values. So that is the way forward.
Okay. Raj, imagine a situation that you have cracked the examination and now you are presently posted as a civil servant, as a public servant, and suppose, let's assume you are the head of the administration in a particular district. Now, that district suffers from a particular mindset, and the mindset is that if females are educated, the entire family system will take a hit, and the joint family system will transform into nuclear families. And that's why people in that district, particular district, they are averse to female education. Now, government has entrusted you with the task of promoting female education in that district. Discuss three ways, or three tools, or three initiatives, or three innovative strategies that you will put in place to achieve that target of high female education.
Sir, three such strategies to promote female education in such a district. First will be giving incentives to women for getting educated, as currently done by the Kanya Shri scheme of West Bengal as well. So, on achieving a degree, be it secondary education or senior secondary education, they can be given a monetary compensation. Sir, second will be to hold a community meeting of the elder women in the family, uh, of the whole society, because these women, they have been away from education and they know the dark sides of being illiterate and being subjugated by the men in their family. So they can raise a far greater voice among their family. And sir, third will be to incorporate role models to bring women who are change makers and women who are leaders into that district and giving them seminars so that the women in the district, they have a mindset change.
This is more of awareness building, and there is no engagement of those stakeholders which are creating the reactionary forces.
Yes, sir. So, but with these steps, the women will be able to.
Agents are reactionary in nature.
So, those elements can be tackled by proper implementation of the laws itself. There, if sir, if any male is coercing their female householders to not get educated, then if there is an instance of mental abuse or physical violence, then that can be tackled by the Prevention of Domestic Violence Act 2005. And sir, the Right to Education Act also can be enforced by giving uh, opportunities to all the women. So these two laws can help.
Any other law?
So I'm not able to recall right.
Okay. Raj, are you aware that Sri Lanka is going through a crisis? And many feel that bad economic management was the major reason for this ongoing crisis. We see in our country also a popular culture, political culture is gaining traction. and that is the culture of freebie politics. What is your take on that?
So freebie politics is gaining culture in India, but India needs freebies as well, because around 26% of the population is below poverty line and suffering from grave multidimensional poverty. So they need some kind of hand holding and support in terms of free food or free water, free health facilities. So the importance of freebies cannot be neglected in a society like India. But there needs to be a rationalization of the freebies, and there needs to be a rationalization of the target beneficiaries as well, so that the public exchequer money that can be used in a better and optimum manner. So freebies along with capacity building and capital investment, that is the need for India.
Could you identify the beneficiaries for such free schemes if you are the main implementer of the scheme?
So first of all, strict standards need to be set that only these people will be the beneficiaries, and then that can be enforced easily on ground. So second will be to encourage the government machinery, the administrative staff in my department, to save as much public exchequer's money as they can, so that there is no pilferage, and also they can be incentivized for an efficient beneficiary checking. So these are some steps that can be taken.
Okay, your optional subject was chemistry, and you have done chemical engineering from IT Guwahati. What has been your major motivation for shifting to civil services preparation?
So there are three major motivations for shifting to civil services from chemical engineering. First will be the huge canvas of opportunities that civil services provide. The job diversity is quite huge in comparison to any other technical job. And second is the sir connect with the people. Being the apex level grievance redressal officer, uh, many things can be done to help the society and to help the people. And sir, third will be the importance of proper implementation of the ongoing government schemes that can bring wonders to our Indian society and curb poverty as well. So these three are the main
From your
motivations.
answers, what I can gauge, Raj, is you are driven by the principle of public spirit and you want to do public service. Don't you think you will be a great asset for the nation if you go into politics or if you start an NGO? Because public service is your motivation. So, do you want a position for that and a salary? Only then you will be motivated enough.
Definitely not, sir. Even if, although I am confident that I will get through civil services, but even if I don't, then also I'll continue the public service that I have in my mind via these institutions of NGOs and uh, any other avenue. Sir, I have worked in national services scheme of my college.
NGO.
So yet I have not had the exposure.
Name three NGOs which are working in Bokaro.
So I cannot recall the exact name, but near my house there is one that is working for the disabled, and sir, it's on the lines of some Asha Lata help institution for the mentally challenged.
Mhm.
And sir, that is all I can recall right
Okay. Bokaro, is one of the major industrial hotspots in the entire country. And Bokaro Steel Plant is actually the growth pole around which everything rotates in that area. Yet, if you see that Jharkhand as a state is economically not doing as great as some of the Western states. What is the major reason for this lackluster performance of Jharkhand as far as economic growth is concerned?
So there are three main reasons behind economic backwardness of Jharkhand. First is the dominance of agriculture as economic activity in the state. Around 60% of the population relies on agriculture, and it contributes less than 15% to the economy. So second will be the neglect of social sector because of enough money from license and royalty for the government via the mining auctions. So the literacy and health parameters of the people are not good enough. And so third will be the infrastructure deficit that the state faces because lack of adequate power supply or lack of roads connectivity to the villages. So these are some factors that hinder economic empowerment of the people.
Okay. How Bokaro got its name?
So I'm not sure about it.
Meaning of this word.
Sir, it is named after the river Bokaro, but why the river is named Bokaro, I'll have to check. Sir.
Okay. Jharkhand. Why it is called so?
So Jhar means forests. So it is a region which is based on the forest landscape. Around 30% of Jharkhand's area is forests.
Three predominant faunal species, floral species in Jharkhand.
So first will be the sal trees that are the dominant tree species. Sir, I'll have to check that. I'm not sure. Sorry. Sir, second will be the palash trees. Palash is also the state flower. And sir, one more. I'll have to check about that.
Okay. Suppose, Raj, I want to visit Jharkhand. Uh, Suggest me three places where I should go, where generally people do not go. And why should I visit those places?
Sir, in Jharkhand, three places that you must go. Uh, First will be the Parasnath Hill. It is a huge tourism attraction. And second will be the Ranchi city. It is also called City of Waterfalls. And sir, third will be Garga Dam. It is nearby Bokaro, and it is a huge water reservoir with good adventure sports facilities.
Are we also producing hydroelectricity at that dam?
Sir, I think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Your hobbies are breakdancing, podcasting, building self-utility web applications. You're a chemical engineer, and yet you are interested in developing web applications. Is that the reason why you never opted for any employment since you completed your bachelor's?
Sir, being interested in web application development would normally open up a lot of employment opportunities. So if I wanted to pursue that, I would have gotten that. But I wanted to prepare for civil services during the best years of my life so that the chances of
Simultaneously, as well, there are many people, and many people from IIT Guwahati, some of them I know personally, who have prepared for the examination and worked side by side.
so I can also work, but I wanted to give 2-3 serious attempts. And
Then why did not you join any service?
so because I'm consistently preparing for the exam.
You can do that, dear, but side by side, you can also contribute to your family. You will also gain first-hand industry experience, and you will help in the overall economic growth. Do you think you missed the bus there?
No, sir, I don't think I missed the bus. There is always opportunities available, and I wanted to give whole amount of time for this exam so that the chances of clearing this exam increases.
Fourth attempt. What went wrong in the previous attempts?
Sir, mostly time mismanagement between the general studies, current affairs, and optional.
Mm.
So, because of greater devotion to the current affairs part,
Mm.
I usually missed out on the options.
This is your first interview? Okay. What is the major learning that you have got from your experiences so far while you were preparing for the civil services?
So the major learning from this experience will be the importance of patience and perseverance, dedicated continuous efforts. That is what leads to results at the end of the day.
But break dancing, how did you develop your interest in that genre?
So during my stay in Dehradun from class 6 to class 10, there was a culture of hip hop in the society, and my friends were also pursuing it. So I also got into it, and I was good at it, so I got more interested in it.
Okay. How break dancing is different from other forms of dancing?
So the main key component why it is different, in my opinion, will be thrill or the challenges that it poses. Breakdancing involves many difficult moves, mainly acrobatic stunts as well. So that is how it is quite different.
Is it more closer to martial arts?
So I beg to differ from that statement because martial arts is more about strength and making an impact on the opponent, whereas breakdancing is about showing off one's best moves.
Which traditional form of Indian dancing is closest to break dancing?
Sir, if in terms of the acrobatic moves are concerned, Kalari can be termed as closest. So it is Kerala's martial dance form, the martial art and dance form.
Okay.
But in terms of performance, break dancing is usually a freestyle dance. So it is tough to compare it with any others.
Who is your favorite break dancer?
So I got inspired from music videos. So I don't have any particular name, but in recent times I have become a fan of Arif Chaudhry. He's an Indian breakdancer, and he represented India at the World Hip Hop Tournament, and he's also the contender for representing India at the upcoming Olympics.
How your knowledge of break dancing will help you in becoming a good administrator?
So breakdancing has taught me skills like calmness and giving tries even after failure. So these are two very important skills that I think will definitely help in the administration. Trying after falling and trying after failing, that will definitely help. And sir, also breakdancing has given a perspective that anyone can do any step or anyone can do anything. So that is a vision from which I will see the society, and there will be optimism incorporated in it. So I'll be more motivated to work for the society.
Thank you, Raj.
Raj, what exactly is the meaning of the word Raj?
So Raj means a state, uh, a kingdom, basically. So,
You said the state and the kingdom. The state could also mean rule. Raj, 24th of April is your date of birth. What is this day celebrated in India?
sir, it is celebrated as National Civil Services Day.
Sure.
No, sir, I think I'm wrong. On
21st
21st April, it is National Civil Services Day.
Okay.
National Panchayati Raj Day. Sorry, sir.
And why is National Panchayati Raj Day celebrated on this day? 73rd Amendment Act passed. Uh, what was the predominant feature of the 73rd Amendment?
So the constitutionalization of the third tier of government, uh, and mandatory elections, and giving a constitutional status to the panchayat level bodies.
Do you share your birthday with any famous personalities?
So, I share my birthday with Sachin Tendulkar, the Indian batsman.
Which was the highest award that he got?
It's a Bharat Ratna award.
You sure?
I'm not sure. Sorry, sir.
Any other sportsman who's been given the Bharat Ratna?
So there must be, but I'm not able to.
Did Major Dhyanchand get a?
Sir, he might have, but I cannot confirm for sure right now. Sorry, sir.
Let me tell you, he has not got. But do you think he deserved?
So he definitely contributed a lot to the nation's hockey sport and to the nation's glory. So he should have been, in my opinion, given the.
Tendulkar was called as God of Indian cricket. God of cricket. What was Major Dhyanchand known as?
So I'm not sure I know the exact.
He was known as the wizard of Indian hockey. You just said in your draft, you can see CAPF result awaited.
Sir, the interviews are not yet held. So they were, the schedule of interview is yet to come. It will be after this civil services exams.
Selected, would you join?
So if I get selected in the civil services, I would prefer.
CAPF.
I think I will join, sir.
I think. Not sure about it.
So I have not given much thought to it right now.
Examination.
So because the main motive to appear at the examination was to gain confidence, because after successive failures in mains, I wanted to test my knowledge and writing skills, and that is why I gave the exam.
What is all probability you may not join the CAPF? So it is a
Very good opportunity, so I might take it, but I will continue to prepare for this exam as well.
you are from Jharkhand. Talk a lot about Jharkhand. There is a holy tree in Jharkhand. What is its name?
So I'm not sure I know about this. Sorry, sir.
Uh, you said that the reason for joining the civil service is but really, how is the qualification as a civil engineer would help you in performance of your civil services?
So as a chemical engineer, the departmental domain expertise, it will be directly helpful in areas such as waste management and air pollution, water pollution, and also in terms of material science in the governance administration.
How often do you think you would be dealing with such activities?
Sir, even if not directly dealing with such activities, I can better monitor and better evaluate such ongoing activities in the district. I can have a better conversation with the leading industrialists in these sectors, and that will allow me to.
If you are given the responsibility of a maybe as a district collector, so wherein your responsibility would be more towards empowering women, maybe education of children, of little girls. Would this come into place there?
So chemical engineering is also about upscaling the lab-based reactions, and upscaling is also what administration works on. So that will be helpful there. The schemes and policies that are formulated in the capital, I'll be able to enforce them in a better way because of my knowledge about upscaling and risk assessment. So also the the knowledge of chemical engineering provides for a rational
not talk of thinking. Let's talk as an engineer.
So engineering is problem solving, and administration is also trying to solve problems. So they are directly intermingled with each other.
And that will help me solving the real
Society problems as well.
Jharkhand has been in the news for all wrong reasons of late. Can you name two of the problems that have for which Jharkhand has been in the news last maybe a fortnight?
So first will be the power crisis that the state underwent in the last week of April, and sir, second will be the corruption scam that is exposed recently.
Scam involved with our personality.
Sir, I have not gone through the details, but I only know the officer's name and that her CA was involved. But other than that, I have
I'm referring to IAS officer. Anybody was the chief minister also involved in some sort of issue with corruption as such?
Sir, in the past, there have been Chief Minister
In the
Madhu.
last month or so?
Sir, I'll have to check on this.
You are fond of breakdancing. What do you have to breakdance?
So in breakdancing, there are different moves in which the body parts they move in isolation of the rest of the body. So it looks like the that part is broken. So that is why it is called breakdancing.
We've also been a member of the National Service Team in college. Tell me, what is the motto of the NSS? What is the significance of it?
So the motto of NSS is not me but you, and its greatest significance lies in encouraging the youth to take up voluntary community works.
What is the significance of the motto?
So the significance is to place the other sections of society above his personal welfare needs.
You have to put it in just one word.
Selflessness.
What is the symbol of NSS? What does that signify?
So the exact symbol I'm not able to recall, but it is something derived from the Konark Sun Temple's wheel of Rath, and it signifies the eternal movement of time. I think.
Not sure.
So I'm not sure about.
It's the right answer.
So,
Uh, he also hobby of yours is podcasting. Tell me, what is podcasting?
so podcasting is delivering any content over the internet on demand. Earlier, it was limited to the audio files that could be downloaded, but now it has been termed as program on demand broadcast. So it contains all the video, audio, and image based contents as well.
Can you tell me what are the different types of podcasts?
Sorry, sir, I cannot tell you.
Okay, how can you use this knowledge of podcasting or the hobby of podcasting?
So there are three main avenues where this hobby will help me in civil services. First will be in dealing with the public and speaking at public functions. That will be benefited by doing podcasts. Public oratory functions. If I have to give a speech somewhere, or the podcasting is also about delivering content to the public at large, and so that will allow me to improve my oratory skills, which will be used in that purpose. The second will be to utilize technology and telemedia such as tele-education and telehealth facilities to the remote sections of the society. So schools where teachers are not present, they also can be taught if a screen is set up there. So that will be helpful in developing such education-based policies. So mainly podcasting is over the internet, whereas radio is over the AM/FM waves.
Also available on the internet.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
And now from podcast.
So now the distinction between the two is getting zero, and now podcasting actually covers in it all the content that are present on the internet.
Maybe those are different from radio.
So the radio program cannot be downloaded or it cannot be watched after it has been conducted, whereas podcasting can be.
Uh, can you tell me how did this word podcasting come into origin?
So it comes from the Apple iPod, which was the main uh, music device that was prevalent in late 21st century. And later Apple also installed an app called Podcasts in its devices, on which these audio files could be shared and downloaded. So from there it came.
You also played tennis. Tennis. This is at what level?
So at the college.
Can you tell me, what is the difference with serving while hitting a shot?
Sir, first, sir, while serving, we know about the location of the ball, so we know where to hit and how precisely we have to hit. Whereas in terms of hitting, the spin of the ball is unknown. So that
One major difference.
that can be in terms of orientation of the bat. In serving, usually the bat is a bit horizontal, whereas in hitting the ball, it is usually a front smack on the ball, so it is not basically horizontal.
It's same in serving as well as taking a shot.
So I'm not able to get to that point exactly. Sorry.
Okay, supposing the three rules pertain to service and governance.
So in the doubles matches, yes, sir. So if the ball hits the net while serving, it becomes a re. And so I'm not sure about it.
It's called net or it's called net.
So I'll have to check that.
And
So the bat should not hit the table while serving.
the table will show.
That is also.
And we said two.
So the third will be the hand cannot be touched. Hand cannot touch the table. So I'm not sure I'm able to recall.
You're serving. Yes. Is it mandatory that the ball should be visible or should be raised to a particular height? Not to a particular height. So
So I'm not sure about that. It should be raised to a particular height, but there can be such.
can be always.
I'm not sure. There can be.
Suppose you throw the ball in the air and you miss hitting it. Would that be a let? Would that be a point to the opponent?
Sir, if the ball hasn't touched the bat, it would be a let.
That is how. But that's the rule.
So I'll have to check that. Sir. Sorry.
You said one of the values that you had was perseverance, and you proved it with your IAS. You also said fearlessness and rationality. Can you give me one instance wherein you have proven both these values in action? Fearlessness and rationality.
So, Sir, it was in Guwahati. I was with my father, and I was going to see him off to the railway station. He had a train, but on the road, I saw an accident victim fallen besides the road. So I immediately stopped the car. Uh, he was in a very bad condition, and my father was also getting late for his train. So I asked my father to continue his journey towards the station, and I stayed with the accident victim, and I called his mother. I ensured that they know about his location, and I waited there until his family members arrived. So that was something that I think was a rational move on my part, and I was alone there because taxi cabs were not allowing to take that person in. So it was a fearful moment for me as well, sir, because I was not sure what is going to happen.
Okay, thank you, Raj.
Raj,
Thank
just a couple of questions. After that, we'll wind up this interaction. Why have you placed the Indian Foreign Service as your fifth preference?
So there are two main reasons for that. First is I have greater inclination to be with and work for the most vulnerable and marginalized sections of the society. And second is the parental preference that my the lifestyle of my parents and their lives will be easy if I stay in India.
If you want to work closely with the marginalized sections of the population, then IFS should be lower than the Danics and Danips. But the Danics and Danips are 16th and 17th. They're very low on your priority list. Don't you think there is an inconsistency between what you are saying and what you have written here?
Sir, the low preference for Danics and Danips is mainly because of the group discrimination between the services.
You said your motivation is to work with the vulnerable sections. Don't you think Danics and Danips give you more opportunity rather than the Indian Foreign Services?
Definitely, sir. Uh, but the career opportunities is also that I have taken into account.
Okay. Uh, are you biased towards the tribals?
I think so, sir.
Okay, you're not sure about it.
So I'm not biased towards tribals.
Okay. But then you see in zone 1, Odisha is your last choice, which is tribal. Himachal Pradesh in zone, which is your second zone, in that zone 1 actually. In that Himachal Pradesh is your last choice, which is again tribal. Zone 3, which is your third choice, Chhattisgarh is your last choice. Zone 5, which is your fourth choice, in that Kerala is your last choice, again good tribal population. Zone 4, which is your fifth choice, Nagaland, predominantly tribal. And over and above everything, Zone 4, which is Northeastern Zone, is your fifth choice. This is creating an impression as if you are biased against the tribals. Would you like to defend yourself, Raj?
Definitely, sir. So first of all, apologies if it reflects so. But so these cadre preferences are given mainly because I have to choose something. And my first choice is also Jharkhand, which is a tribal based area. So uh, that is enough.
Northeastern Zone as your last choice.
So because I had to keep something as the last, and all other areas they were offering some other opportunity in terms of the large expanse of work that could be done there, and the
From where have you gained this knowledge that Northeastern Zone does not provide you enough areas to work?
that's not the case actually. Uh, every zone provides equal opportunities, but the larger states uh, they provide greater capacity to empower the people. Uh, that is what I think.
So this was the reason. What's the reason for placing Northeast as your last choice? My question is very simple.
The main reason will be the prevalence of insurgency and militancy in the area. So from a safety security perspective, that has been put at a last choice. But even if I get the opportunity to work in northeastern areas, I will be happy to do so, and I'll contribute my best.
Jharkhand, a state which comes under the red corridor.
Yes.
Why have you placed it then your first choice when safety and security is your concern?
So because Jharkhand also provides opportunities to work for, and that militancy in Jharkhand is now very low. And
Jharkhand?
sorry for the wrong words, sir. So the left wing extremism in Jharkhand is now very low, and it is rarely uh, attempted towards the government functionaries now. But sir, the main thing is the opportunity to work. I will be more motivated to work in Jharkhand and Bihar as they are my home states. Uh, that is the simple reason.
Motivation will go down if you are posted in southern part of the country or northeastern part of the country.
I will be I will continue my motivation and continue with the same spirit that I will have in any other state as well. But since I have to give some order to the states, that is why that has been given. Sir.
Thank you, Raj. Your interview is over. We will reconnect with you in some time for your feedback. Okay. Get a pen and paper for him. Raj, before we begin this feedback session, I want you to analyze your own performance. And if you have to put yourself on a scale of 10, where would you place yourself?
Sir, I was able to answer some questions in a decent way, but in some questions it could have been better. Especially in some questions, I answered a bit long, explaining the individual points. And that is something that I have to work on. And apart from this, I think there is a problem with eye contact, that I don't do enough eye contact. Sir, apart from this,
Place yourself.
on a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5 maybe.
Uh, Raj, you see that self realization is the first step towards improvement, right? It's good that you can find out some of your problems. You must understand, dear, that this is not the test of your knowledge. Your knowledge has already been tested. This is the test of your personality. Though aspirants generally call it the interview, UPSC calls it personality test. So, what is being tested here? What kind of values you hold? What kind of virtues are there in your character, right? Do you have decision making ability? Can you work under stress kind of situation? Can you engage with multiple stakeholders? Are you a good listener? Do you have a problem solving attitude? Can you comprehend the complexity of a certain thing? Do you have situational awareness? Do you understand that? And once you are trained, whether you will be an asset for the administration or you will become a liability upon the administration. Do you get it? And once you go into the administration, whether you will further the cause of social justice or you will become an impediment in the path of delivery of social justice. How much do you respect the constitution? What kind of communication skills you have? Are you a good negotiator? Can you persuade people? Do you get it? So these are the things that are being tested, not your knowledge. Every question that is thrown at you, it is thrown with the intention to know that whether you have these qualities or not. Do you get it? So if you fail on facts, there is no harm. But if you fail on facts that you have provided, then there is a big problem. Do you get it? So, well, having said that, what is the requirement of this personality test? Let me come straight to the good points first. It was good that you took permission to enter the room. What did you say? May I get in or may I come in? That's not the right way. You have to say, may I come in? Then stand beside the chair and do not take your seat until you are asked to do so. This showcases that you can wait for orders. Do you get it? And you greeted appropriately, and then you were polite and decent throughout the interview, right? Your communication skills are also decent. Um, Command over language is also good. Uh, some of your answers were very good. You balanced things very well. But let me start from the attire first. This is the critical analysis. Let's not get obsessed with the good points because you have already covered those bases. Let's talk on those areas where you need improvement. You have not shaved today, have you? No, you haven't. No, it has to be the day of your interview when you do your shaving. Do you understand that? Why? Because you look very sharp. And even the soldiers who are trained meticulously, they're regimented over years, they also do a full dress rehearsal, right? So it psychologically prepares you for that big day. So do that. The eye contact, you have realized it, that it was not appropriate. The right way of having the eye contact, Raj, is when somebody asks you the question, look towards that person, only towards that person. Do not shift your eyes. This showcases that you are eager to listen and you are attentive. Do you understand that? Once the question is done, then you start answering by looking at that person who has asked you the question. Say 60 to 70% of the time should be dedicated towards that person. And in between, you should look towards other members of the board as well. Otherwise, they might feel neglected. They might also take offense of it. To understand that? So, you start your answer by looking at the person who has asked you the question, and you end your answer by looking at the person who has asked the question. In between, try to engage with other members of the board, especially to take those opportunities when somebody is writing something. Take that opportunity to engage with other members of the board. Do you get it? Then the socks, are they deep navy blue? And do you intend to wear this same suit? Then change your socks to dark black, right? And without any kind of marks on it, simple, sober, formal, full length black socks, right? No kind of marking on it of any company or something like that. The shoes are not polished, right? And this might happen on that day also. Maybe you started from your place with well polished shoes, but the dirt in the road, it got stuck to the shoe. So carry a small piece of cloth by which you can wipe off the dust, right? So take that thing in mind. Sitting posture, it was not good at all. First, you should sit in the center of the seat while you were doing that, and your spinal cord should touch the back of the seat, right? The distance between your knees should be as much as it is between your shoulders. Do you get it? And the feet should also be placed apart almost at that distance, right? So your knees and your feet should be in line. Heels closer, toes slightly out. Again, bring your feet closer. Bring your feet closer, yes. Slightly, the toes slightly out. Yes, outwards. In that way, you look more relaxed, right? The hand position was like this. You kept your hands over your thighs or over your knees for some moment. And then you started placing your hands like this. And you were also playing with your fingers. These are signs of nervousness. Do you get it, Raj? So rectify that thing. The sitting posture.
With this position,
You should not sit like that throughout the course of the interview. Otherwise, it appears that it is very mechanical. आप कहीं से सीख के आए हैं कि यही तरीका है. In between, you can lock your fingers, right? Lock your fingers. Yes, you were sitting like that. It's not the right way. Lock your fingers and tightly with your thumb as well, so that you do not start playing with your fingers, right? Unnecessarily, it catches our attention, right? And the moment we start looking at the gestures of your body, obviously, we're not listening to what we're saying. Do you get it? Then you need improvement in name related questions. Date of birth 24th of April. It's a big day in India. Why? Apart from the Panchayati Raj thing. Yes, that judgment, you never mentioned that. Right? जैसे 26 जनवरी और 15 अगस्त को क्या कहते हैं? भारत माता की जय, यही कहते हैं ना? तो इस सर्विस के लिए क्या कहना चाहिए? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की जय, क्योंकि आर्टिकल 312 has created the all India services for which you are trying, right? तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन वाला एंगल सबसे पहले लाओ ना भाई. Do you get it? झारखंड, योर होम स्टेट, पहला प्रेफरेंस भी डाला है. आपको ठीक से आइडिया नहीं है झारखंड के बहुत सारी चीजों के बारे में. हाउ इट गॉट इट्स नेम तो आपने बता दिया, बट बोकारो यू आर नॉट श्योर. सो इम्प्रूव योर नॉलेज रिगार्डिंग झारखंड, बोकारो. सचिन तेंदुलकर, He is a recipient of the Bharat Ratna. Is there any higher civilian award in India than Bharat Ratna? You were saying I am not sure. ये तो common sense है. Do you understand that? In fact, you said I think, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. It became more or less like a norm rather than an exception. तो आप कह भी रहे थे और कह रहे थे मैं श्योर नहीं हूँ. मतलब अगर आपसे समझ लीजिए आपके सीनियर कुछ सजेशन मांग रहे हैं, कुछ इनपुट मांग रहे हैं, आप बोलोगे ये ऐसा कर दो, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर. ऐसा कर दो, आई एम नॉट श्योर. तो लगता है कि वो आपसे बार बार सजेशंस मांगेंगे. तो शो सम सॉर्ट ऑफ कन्विक्शन ऑल्सो, बट डू नॉट ब्लफ if you're not sure really.
Not bluff. That is why I put this.
बोलो to the best of my knowledge. ऐसे बोल दो ना कभी कभार. ठीक है, I think, I feel ये काट दो. Words would be I believe, in my limited knowledge, to the best of my ability, what I can recall as of now. ऐसे words use करो थोड़े. Why you want to join the civil services? So the answer was okay, but it was not organized properly. It has to be short and swift, very clear, right? And try to maintain a balance between your social ambitions and your personal aspirations. ठीक है? It will also give me an opportunity to learn. It will give me an opportunity to achieve my highest potential. ऐसा बोलो ना कुछ. ये मत बोलो it will give me prestige या ऐसा वैसा कुछ भी. Do you get it? I asked you a question very straightforward. You were not listening to the question very properly. I asked you, name 3 places in Jharkhand where people generally do not go. You said Parasnath Temple or Hill. Then you said, I think Ranchi City and Gar Garden. Right? और आपने बोला these are famous tourist spots. अरे मैंने क्या पूछा आपसे?
I did not know any such place which is hidden from the tourists.
तो यार कुछ भी बोल दो. यही तो अवेयरनेस है. वही होगा क्या जो लिस्ट झारखंड सरकार निकालेगी टूरिज्म मिनिस्ट्री, वही बताओगे क्या लोगों को? तो आप में और एक लेमैन में क्या फर्क हुआ? डू अंडरस्टैंड दैट? गारगा डैम के बारे में मैंने आपसे पूछे 2 सवाल हुए, नॉट श्योर. आपने खुद बताया उसके बारे में. इज देयर हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पढ़ी है उसके बारे में? अगर है तो कितनी कैपेसिटी की है? डैम बना क्यों है फिर? डू गेट इट? Podcasting types, you were not sure. Table tennis, you were not very much sure. You need improvement on these areas. But the blunder was the carder preference. आपने क्या बोला आपको पता है? आपको याद भी है आपने क्या बोला है?
For foreign service.
Carder preference, I'm saying, not order of services. Go to the northeast. Insurgency है sir. You are bothered about your safety and security. तो IPS में not opted लिखते, दूसरा क्यों डाला है? ऐसा आदमी कभी जाना चाहिए आईपीएस में? खुद सोच के बताओ, जो डरपोक हो. कि कैसा डिफेंस हुआ आपका? और फिर आपने क्या बोला कि आई एम मोर मोटिवेटेड टू वर्क इन झारखंड. इट मीन्स यू आर शोइंग रीजनल बायसनेस ऑल्सो. दिस इज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सर्विस IAS and IPS, Raj? What kind of services are there? All India services. It means the entire of India should be same for you. Do you get it? ये तो ट्रैप था, मुझे मालूम था फंस भी जाओगे. ठीक है. फॉरेन सर्विसेज वाला भी, I'll come to the answer. First try to learn about your mistakes. फॉरेन सर्विसेज का क्या आपने आंसर दिया? क्या दिया था आपने? आपको याद है?
So, work for more vulnerable and marginal sections.
तो फंसा लिया. वहां पे तो आपका चलेगा, वहां पे आप बोले ग्रुप बी है वो, इसलिए मैं नहीं जाऊंगा वहां पर. देखो, बेस्ट आंसर होगा UPSC gave me an opportunity to exercise my preferences. I have just done that. I have not placed any service or any cadre lower than any other, but I have just created a preference list. But I would like to register this here with all the willpower at my disposal, that I am ready to serve in any part of the country and in any capacity, and I'll be more than fortunate if I get that opportunity. Close the window. ठीक है. अच्छा, नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न मिलेगा. अच्छा, जैसे सिक्किम कार्डर मिल गया, छोड़ दोगे? तो क्यों बोल रहे हो? क्यों बोल रहे हो? इंसर्जेंसी है, ये है, फिर आप बोल रहे हो झारखंड में अब नहीं है लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म. मतलब आप अजीब सी बातें कर रहे थे, राइट? कोई अगर समझ लो, कोई बैठा हुआ सीनियर ऑफिसर, वो तो ऑफेंस ले लेगा ये। और कोई नॉर्थ ईस्ट कैडर का हुआ तो आप तो उनके विजडम को भी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हो। Do you get it? So this is my feedback, dear. When is your interview scheduled? 24th May, right? You have time to work on these areas. Sir will now give you his feedback. After that, you can ask your questions and then I'll disclose your score. Sir.
Very, very apprehensive. And from May, Kevin sir, to coming and standing, to where you were standing, because apprehension written all over. You have to be very assertive. You have to be looking at your pen, alert and absolutely disciplined and firm, not submissive and apprehensive. Look, are you aware of the fact that within the first 7 seconds, the first impressions are made? So what impression could have been made with this? Not good. That will require a lot of thinking. Eye contact was very poor. I thought it was jerky. You were just looking at the other person and then just changing. It was so jerky, it gave an impression as if you're trying to avoid contact with the other person. Which gives a very wrong impression. And I'm very surprised that you yourself realized your mistake, but yet you nothing to correct it. So you will have to do that. But remember, eye contact will play a very important role. Suppose there are 5 members of the team. You're ignoring for say, the interview. 5 minutes everybody has taken. The last one that means you have ignored it for 20 minutes out of the 25 minutes. So you like it. So scores are going to be overall scores, which are going to be average. Individual score, which are going to be average for it. So what will happen? One person says, he says, yeah, the IQ is very poor. He has ignored me. He gives you a low score. Your overall score takes a dip. So this is a very important role, remember that. The very fact that you realize that, but yet it did not make any correction. Where the problem was, even in the compound. Very good, very smiling disposition. I loved it. But actually added, the moment you entered, mine was so beautiful. I loved it. But then, the other things completely more odd. So, your spectacles, you intend to get the same spectacles? Because, even your spectacles are coming down and they're killing it. Feeling of being casual about it.
Are you comfortable with a rimless one?
I have tried it, but people say that
This is better, but I have tried it.
even if it is rimless or if the same, no problem. But the fact that they should not be tilted, they were coming down and they were tilted and gave a look of being very casual. So that is what we need to check on it. So knowledge of date of birth. How would you misconstrue 24th April for 21st April? Major blunder. Thereafter, when you corrected, you also had the information about importance of 24th April. You should have definitely said that.
Exact day that it is a day, and Kesav Nanda Bharti. Yes, sir.
The date only. So, you remembered it was birthday, but when you're talking in terms of civil service, is that not very important also? That is where I think you should have, whenever you are given any information, never thank. It does not give a very good impression. Whenever you are given any information by the panel members, they may give you information. They give you some information. Whenever you have the opportunity, with your both your hands, thank the members for it. Thank you very much for the information. It shows that you are humble. Otherwise, it shows, he's taking things very easy. Right. You have to be, humility has to be personified. That was not very impressive. Bharatratna, not sure was a bit shocked. Okay. And about Dhyanchand, what the newspaper is to cricket, Dhyanchand is to hockey. There was such a controversy that why had he not been given Bharatratna and he should have been the first person to be given Bharatratna. Too many more questions I could have asked you about Dhyanchand.
So recently naming of the
Yeah. Remember what?
Something was named after him.
I knew that. Because you had no idea about it. It's not something. Highest award in sports. Previously done. Yes.
Khel Ratna.
Now it is Major
Major
Dhyan
Dhyan Chand.
Award. And whenever you're using the names, do not forget to use the proper description along with it. Shri or Mr. or in this case, the service person. And no person wants to be called just by his name. The rank must be set with the name. Then Jharkhand. How do you not even know what the Karna trees? I mean, I remember last year there was one person who was lynched there. There were so many instances of people being lynched with Karna trees. So, that knowledge should have been there with you, right? Then PAPF, not sure. If you're not sure, then why have you appeared? Please don't make such statements. Say, yes, sir, I will join. Later on, you corrected yourself subsequently. Yes, sir, I joined. I will continue with my efforts to join the civil service. That was the right answer. Then table tennis. Now, what is the difference between the service and taking a shot?
So the ball is lifted in.
Set three rules. One of the first service rule is you have to toss the ball 6 inches in the air, minimum 6 inches. You can toss at 6 feet also, but minimum 6 inches is the height given. Number two, remember the major difference in the service and shot. When you are serving, you are hitting your side of the table first. When you are taking a shot, when you are you are returning a shot. Ball is landing on the opponent's court, not on your court. Major difference. When you miss taking the shot, when you're serving, you get the idea? When you're taking a serve, you toss the ball and you miss to hit it. What is that? It is not a net. It is a point to the opponent. You may not be doing it, but what is the rule position? What you have to do? When the ball touches the net, it is not a net. It is not a V. It is a net. Okay. See, this is information you have given. You did it universal evolution. So you should have had better information than that. How knowledge of podcast types, how would you use? Because making, you said I'll be making public speech, I can make use of it. How can you make use of public podcast in a public speech? They are completely different things. Your services, for improving your quality of education, you can use it for design or for education. You can use it for marketing also. You can market your different policies that you have.
awareness building.
Awareness building, right? So that is where you can use it. Uh, uh, Chemical engineering and civil services. You are focusing only on chemical engineering. That is not the point. That is just one element of your total personality. The question is, the question is asked civil engineering, but that is not just your engineering qualification. You will never ever get a job like what you said. where you can put in your services of knowledge of your civil engineering, right? Chemical engineering. Because the knowledge that you have gained, this is the, ultimately you said it when I launched into that particular field. Then ultimately you said problem solving. Yes, that is where you look for. You know, scientific temper that you have gained, systems approach to solving problems. That is where you are. It will help you. Remember that. Uh, One last point. Even when you came in for your feedback, you gave another impression that you're not organized. Should have brought your paper and pen along with you when you came and say, isn't it? So what happens? All these things matter. So remember, uh, all these points have been told to you, are being told to you with what reason? Yours. I can assure you, all these things, they will sound very harsh, but they are going to be extremely helpful. And I can assure you, if all these points of action, at least 35 to 40 marks difference can be made in your overall score. That will be a huge, huge number. That can be the difference between yes and no, selection and rejection. Please pay attention. You said your date of interview was 24th May. Right? You still have about 10 days. Make sure of this time. Make sure you are sitting, your position, your legs, your feet are moving heels together. Heels together. That gives an impression that you are looking confident. If I sit like this, is that giving you a good impression or is this giving you a good impression? Remember, sit erect. More the wide your legs are open, it gives a feeling as if you are trying to dictate. You are in a position of authority. No, you are on the receiving side. So sit erect, but don't be too profound with. Overall, I can assure you, these points will make a world of difference to you in your performance. And even if you can correct 50% of them, I think you stand a very good chance. Right? Improve your knowledge of date of birth, your Jharkhand, your
Hobby section.
hobby sections. All the very best, match.
As sir rightly pointed out, without a shadow of a doubt, if you work on these areas, there will be a jump of 30-35 marks at least. It could be anything beyond that. Once you said that the difference between radio broadcasting and podcasting is you cannot listen to radio programs, you cannot download them later. Are you aware about air.nic.in? Are you aware about the archives?
Yes.
So यहाँ पर थोड़ा आप तैयारी रखना, ये एक सेंटेंस बोल देना. Though now some radio programs can also be downloaded, but generally speaking, ऐसा कर दो उसको general rather than a specific state. You can ask your questions, Raj.
So I am not able to recall any such question right now, but I will definitely work on these and try to improve myself. Thank you.
और देखो, आप में सारी क्वालिटीज हैं एक सिविल सर्वेंट बनने के लिए, बट एक ही चीज चाहिए आपको. क्या बताइए? हाँ, दो चीजें आप सही करो. फर्स्ट, योर स्टेट नॉलेज, right, and your DAF, overall DAF, it needs improvement, right? And you were not sure, very confident नहीं थे आप पूरे इंटरव्यू में. आप खुद ही बोल रहे थे I'm not sure, I'm not sure, I'm not sure. एक बार तो ठीक लगता है, हर दूसरे क्वेश्चन के बाद तीसरा क्वेश्चन यही था आपका आंसर, I'm not sure. That's not the right. So as far as this interaction was concerned, we have awarded you 150, 150. But add 35 to this, then your score stands at what? समझ में आ रहा है? इतना तो मिल जाएगा अगर आप एरियाज पे काम करोगे. हाँ, 9 दिन काफी होते हैं. इतना बेसिक फ्लॉ नहीं है पर्सनालिटी में, जैसे यू आर नॉट स्टबर्न, you are not argumentative too much so that you go into a confrontation, right? And you're polite and decent. ये major bases are covered. Slight improvements. And Carter answer. That costed you nearly 30 marks to them. Nearly 30 marks. Never ever say anything which goes against the values of the service. You get it? All the best.
You answered about fearlessness and nationality. An example could have been much better.